Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MFFL Nation show. I'm here with two very, very, very special guests. I got Mavericks Digest, aka Unk, and making his MFFL Nation show debut, the one and only MavsMuse. Fellas, what is going on? I am very excited to have you guys on here.
Well,
it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. I mean, I know Digest has been on here a lot, so let me take the thunder and talk. I appreciate you having me on. But yeah, it's going to be a good show. Got a lot to talk about, so I'm excited.
Anyway, I'm ready to school you young kids on what real basketball is, all right? Because I'm sick and tired of all this. Oh, these players are 3-and-D. He's a stretch four. Oh, he's a point forward. Back in my day, we had Jerry West. Okay, we had Jerry West. We had some real basketball players back in my day. Okay, you remember Clyde Drexler?
JJ Barea cooking. JJ Barea.
Can you mute this guy?
Listen. It's not my fault that my era is so much better than yours. I'm so sorry. We had real basketball, okay? Julius Erving, Dr. J had the ball on a string, bro. Like, come on, get out of here.
Dude, was it LeBron that said like Giannis would have like 200 points in the 70s?
What does LeBron know? What does he know? LeBron lies. You ask LeBron, hey, LeBron, have you read this book? And like, oh, yeah, actually, I was there when they wrote the book. I actually helped publish the book, you know. I actually have writing credits if you go down to the bottom on their website. Like, no, man, LeBron don't know what he's talking about.
Fair enough. MavsMuse, how are you feeling about this debut?
Ooh, me right here?
Yeah, you.
I mean, look, I was hoping it would just be me and you wouldn't have this Unk here on the show with us. I mean, I love him. I love him to death, but this is my time to shine. You got me as a third party here. Hey, I'm excited to be here regardless. You know, me and you, we got a history. You know, we have a chance to make the Mavs one day. We got on the Legends tryout together, and still waiting on the callback. I think it's coming. They told me perhaps this week we'll hear back from them. So me and you go way back, but me and Marcel, I think we might have a tighter bond after what happened at the Mavs Twitter tournament. Champion right here. He handed me the trophy at the end. And I did make an appearance on his 24-hour charity live stream the other day. So I don't know. It's tough to decide who I like more in this setting here, but it's a fun threesome for sure.
Well, very fun.
I am waiting on the callback from the Legends still. I felt like I performed pretty well.
I don't know, man. They got Ryan Nembhard now. I don't think they need you.
Dude, me and Ryan Nembhard in the pick and roll. MavsMuse can back me up. I pick and pop. I was splashing.
He was
okay,
splashing.
But they also have Miles Kelly.
That's a guard. They need a big. Dude, Jamarian Sharp has Butterfingers. They need me.
No Jamarian Sharp disrespect on the pod. I won't accept it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
you're not sorry. Why would you lie?
Are we just going to hype up Dwight Powell the whole video?
Well, since we are on the topic of Dwight,
you don't mind. Don't get me started. All right. We can make this a 10-hour podcast if we have to.
Listen, people are always like, why is he still here? Why did we trade him? He's just a waste of roster spot. I don't think people understand like the importance of a guy like Dwight Powell. Ask yourself, what did Udonis Haslem do for the last 5 seasons of his career?
I got to show you something.
Nothing.
Because
he did nothing.
I was, for people that don't know, I played college basketball. I was the Udonis Haslem, Dwight Powell of my college basketball team. And just to show you guys something.
Oh.
I had to do the UD. I had to do the UD pose.
See, so you know greatness when you see it, so don't question Dwight Powell.
But the question is, were you more of a Haslem or a Powell? Because there's a pretty big difference in there.
All time, obviously Powell.
There you go.
Well, I'm saying you as a player, like, are you someone who's going to, you think that you deserve to be on the team because you got a couple rings back in the day? Or are you standing up and cheering your teammates on, helping everyone up off the bench, being the big locker room guy like Dwight is? I got to know which one.
Dude, I'm on both sides.
I
felt like I was a bucket, but if you go back and watch the film, I'm supporting the fellas. I'm doing both. Any bucket, I'm talking trash to the other team. I couldn't tell you how many warnings I've gotten from officials, but they just loved me so much. But I was definitely a trash talker on the bench.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
I
fair.
don't really see DP. I don't really see DP talking trash. He's more like,
Listen, I don't know if you really watched Dwight Powell like that. MavsMuse, I know you have. There have been a few moments during last season where Dwight Powell was getting visibly upset.
He gets feisty.
If you've ever been in the presence of Dwight Powell, he's a pretty jacked dude. Like he's
huge.
He's huge.
Yeah, you want to go toe to toe with Dwight Powell? Do you really want to fight a man who gets hit in the face every day?
I should have worn my Dwight Powell green jersey that I got. You remember that? What was it? It was like PJ Washington had to drop like 30 or something like that, and he ended up doing it. So, I mean, they are bringing the jerseys back.
They are.
So I'm pretty excited. I purchased the Powell jersey. I'll be able to rep it now.
You know what really upsets me? You obviously you know about the game worn Christmas Day Powell jersey that I bought for the bit a while back. I remember that. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to reveal how much money it cost me, but it was a disgusting amount. And so what happened was I bought it, and then this past season, the jersey that was from the championship year or the finals run year 24, Christmas Day of that year, and this year played on Christmas again, wore the same royal blue jerseys. So it was the exact same jersey, and that one was also on the same auction website. And I said, well, I'm not going to buy two of the exact same jersey. It would be a good bit, but it's not worth it for how much I have to pay. I look at the prices after. That one sold for, I think $200. I could have saved an insane amount of money if I just
game worn.
The game worn Christmas Day one. Yeah, it was $200, maybe $300.
What website is this on?
And it's Sotheby's is the official auction house for the NBA. So, but don't go on there because I'm buying all the Mavs stuff. Actually, they're selling some more finals right now. So just stay off it. I'm gonna go ahead and take it all. But
you're gonna see seriousness. Can you slide every Dwight Powell game worn jersey now? I'm in there for everyone now. You're bidding against me now.
I need the link. I need to up my memorabilia game. I do.
I'll send it to you. But no Dwight Powell jerseys. Those are all mine. I call dibs.
Promise.
All right, I'll send it to you then.
Awesome. Okay, guys. Now, what everyone actually wants to listen to, the Dallas Mavericks 2025-26 schedule came out. And I will say, I've never been a big schedule guy. Never really like to review them all the way through, but I reviewed this one, and I'm very excited. And I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to share my screen because it took about 30 minutes to figure this out, but I'm very excited it happened. So, just to start off, the Dallas Mavericks are opening up their season for the first time in franchise history. If you follow MavsMuse on X, he reported it first. For the first time in franchise history, they will have their first 5 games at home against the San Antonio Spurs, Washington Wizards, Toronto Raptors, OKC, and Indiana. And fellas, I want to get into the first 5 game predictions. I am going with 4-1. I think that the Spurs are a very good basketball team next season, but we saw Derek Lively take down Wemby 2 straight years. I think Cooper Flagg takes down Wemby and Harper this upcoming season. The Wizards, I don't think I really have to explain myself, nor the Raptors. Solid teams. I think the Mavs do have a tendency to sometimes play down to their opponents' levels, but I do think those are 3 straight wins if healthy. I'm going to give OKC the win on the 27th. It's their first back-to-back of the season for the Mavs. Can't win them all. And then obviously at home against Indiana dealing with a lot of injuries with Hallie, Miles Turner leaving. So I like the Mavs starting off the season 4-1. What do you guys think?
Well, yeah, I think that's an appropriate, expectation for the team is 4-1. Obviously OKC, no matter how Mavs fans feel about PJ being the OKC killer and how we got their number, sure, we do match up with them very well, but just to put respect on the defending champions, sure, I'll give them that win. You can also make the argument that because Jay Will is still rehabbing his wrist, who knows how that'll be by the time we see them this early in the season, whether that's going to be a problem. I can see us sneaking in a win early, but I think 4-1 is fair. You made a good points about Indiana no longer having Miles Turner. Halliburton's injured. Toronto is Toronto. I don't know what they're doing, and I don't think they do either. You may as well call the Wizards the Washington Bullets because we forget that they're even a team. And then it's the Spurs. So it's like to me, that's a really good start to the season with those 5 home games, which makes things easier for the team to get a good start to the season. One of the issues that I had with last season's schedule was we were never home in the beginning of the season. I felt like we were always on the road, and it's hard for a team to really kind of get your legs from up under you to start the season, to get things going. You get a good feel when you're constantly traveling. If we have more away games on the second half of the season, that's totally fine. By then we're acclimated. Cooper Flags may be hitting his rookie wall, but by then the team is more gelled, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, I agree with MavsMuse. What do you think about the first 5?
I think, look, I don't know. If you've watched enough Mavs basketball over the years, you know that they always have a tendency to never just rattle off a crazy win streak to start the season. I think it wasn't last year. Maybe it was 23-24 or the year before that. They started off with 4 games in a row. I think it was the finals run year. They won their first 4 games of that season. But outside of that, like I don't have the stats to back this up, but I distinctly remember watching every year and being like, it'd be really fun to, go on a little win streak to start the year. And every year, either the first game or the second game, they lost no matter what. It just happened every single year regardless. And so that's just kind of what the Mavs do. But this schedule we have here, it does intrigue me, not only because we're playing teams like the Wizards and the Raptors, but look, the Thunder, having the Thunder's numbers, it's a fun meme, but it's a different team than we've had when we've just taken them out every time. And the Thunder, they've got a newfound confidence now after winning the championship. It's going to be a little bit different now. But I still think the Mavs can take them. Like it's the bigs now that's going to be the difference. Anthony Davis is not going to be able to be stopped by anyone on the Thunder. And so that's the only game that really worries me too much. And if we can win that game, then I don't see why we couldn't start 6-7-0 and turn the tide. But it just worries me because of the history of this team and not getting off to hot starts, that I feel like this might be a 3-2 type of start to the season at best. I'm really optimistic, but I think it's going to be a really good Mavs season, and it's going to be better than a lot of people expect. But the start of the season, I don't know. I think I've been hurt too many times to expect us to go 4-1 or 5-0. But if we can take care of OKC, then I don't see why this couldn't be a really hot start.
Yeah, and I think they really have to capitalize on these first 5 games, especially with Kyrie being out. It's funny because last season, obviously Luka was coming back from that injury he suffered right before training camp. I think the Mavs started off the season like 5-7, right? Like they had that like awful, painful loss against the Jazz, and everyone became like insanely worried about how good the Mavs were going to be. And then they went on this great run, and unfortunately, up until Christmas Day, they started balling out again, and then we all know what happened after Christmas Day.
Yeah, all right, bro.
Yeah, my bad.
Thanks.
But I think this could be the season that the Mavs actually have a really good start. I think it really depends on how the rotation is laid out. I know Jason Kidd likes to experiment a lot in the regular season, way too much in my opinion. I love J-Kidd, but he does experiment a lot. And Marcel and I talk about all the time good problems to have. And I think one of the good problems that the Mavs have is that they're maybe too deep. I think they have too many guys that can compete in this rotation. And I think it's going to take time for the Mavs to experiment what kind of 10-man rotation that they really want. I believe, I forget who was talking about, but Jason Kidd, like when it comes to playoff time, is pretty well known for having 8 to 9-man rotations. And I think there's 11 or 12 guys on this team that are capable of being in the rotation. And you look at like the 9 through 11 guys. I mean, Brandon Williams, Dante Exum. I know you guys probably disagree with me, but a Caleb Martin. And I think those guys, I'm a Caleb Martin believer, bro. I am. I know.
Someone's got to be.
Well, honestly, the problem with that situation is there's 13, probably 13 guys that are going to think that they deserve big minutes. And honestly, a lot of them really do. But there's a lot of that shows that teams like that end up having a little bit of chemistry issues because there's too many guys go around that are good players that deserve minutes, then there's just not that many minutes to be played.
Right.
And you're going to have to pull some guys in crunch time and, have some short leashes with some guys and not give the guys some minutes they want in certain key games. And that might cause some problems. I hope it doesn't, but there's just so many good players in this team that it has happened before.
That's the thing too. It's like, dude, first of all, I've been obsessed with the Najee Marshall offseason content.
Bruh.
The bag's crazy. Bruh. But what I'm saying is, like, what about when Najee's cooking? But you have this, like, you have it set where you want Coop at the 3 and PJ at the 4 to close games. Or what if it's Max is cooking, but you need shooting, or Max is guarding really well, but you need shooting and you need Clay in. And I think it's just going to take time for the Mavs to really figure out what fourth quarter rotations truly look like, or if it's going to be something where it's changed on a game-to-game basis.
I think that's probably where we want this team to be, is where on a game-to-game basis, we may see different rotations, different closing lineups, and that's a good thing. We've talked about time, good problems to have. Well, I like the fact that I have a team that is that flexible. Like my team can look different depending on who we're playing against, because we have the answer to different problems versus, we're always going to play these 5 guys when we close out games because I don't have a better option to close a game out. Like you said, if Najee Marshall is hooping, put him in the 4th. If Max Christie is shooting lights out, keep him in the game. If Klay Thompson looks 5 years younger, keep him in, so it's like, as long as we have a team this deep, we'll never run out of options. And I think that'll be something that'll bail out Jason Kidd a lot, because one thing that I've heard a lot of fans say is that they find Jason Kidd somewhat predictable. They know what he's going to throw out. They know what he's going to do. But because of the talent that we have in this team and just the creative minds around the coaching staff too, the new coaches coming in, is that we can almost expect to see a different Mavericks play style depending on who we're playing against.
Yeah, I agree with you very much so. But again, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how this rotation pans out. Also, something that I've been thinking about a lot too, and we'll give a very early prediction on this. Just a prediction. Who do you guys think, once Kyrie returns, gets more minutes, Brandon Williams or Dante Exum?
D'Angelo Russell.
Dwight Powell. Oh,
I mean, great answers. I think we just gave you some of the best answers.
Okay, fair.
I think it'll be Dante because of Jason Kidd's habit of leaning on his veterans. That's just how he's always been. He likes to give the older players more run. We saw that last year before they traded away Maxey. The amount of times, and I'm not trying to hate on Maxey. There's a lot of people out there that think I hate Maxey, but just the fact that he was unplayable for damn near the entire time that we had him last season, but yet he still got minutes. He was afraid to shoot the ball. He just missed every shot. His defense was bad. But because Maxey has been there long enough, Jason Kidd will give him minutes. And I feel like the same will be said for Dante. And Dante, as long as he stays healthy, is a good point guard. I love what I saw from Brandon Williams. I think he earned his contract and he earned minutes in the rotation. But because I know Jason Kidd, I feel like Dante's going to get more minutes over Brandon Williams.
If that's the case, then I think, because Brandon Williams is an unrestricted free agent after this season, and he's making like no money right now. I think it's like one of the smallest contracts in the NBA.
Yeah. And it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, exactly. So do you try trading him?
If you have to. I know that they're trying to trade, they've been trying to trade Jaden Hardy and Omax. I've known this since draft night, pretty much. They've been trying to shop him. And if they can't, then Brandon Williams, your contract is the most expendable. That hurts nobody. But do you want to get rid of that talent for Dante? See, that's the thing, though. Like, Brandon Williams can be a piece long term. He's not young. He's about 25, 26. So he's not young, but he's able to play at a certain level. He doesn't have that many miles on his body. Let's just say that, right? Like, he can still play at a fresher level with the younger players, which I think will be good for someone like Cooper Flagg, someone like Derek Lively, Najee Marshall, PJ, right? So he fits that age group. But if you want to look at this cold and calculating, and you have to make room for Dante, because we're not going to just not bring Dante after we offer him a contract. He got a contract, so that means we're actively trying to find a spot. If you can't trade away Omax or Hardy, the only way you make room is by just cutting Brandon Williams, which would probably upset a lot of fans.
It would upset me. I'd much rather have B. Will than Exum at this point. I mean, I could see why Jay Kidd would rather have Exum personally. He likes players that are stable, that know he's better in the system. He's played with a lot more of these guys for longer.
Dinwiddie.
Hey man, I'd rather have Dinwiddie over Dante. That's my hot take.
I'm a Dinwiddie fan. I mean, look, I don't want him on the team, but I like him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think if we can do whatever it takes to not have to cut B. Will, much less trade him, then I'm definitely a proponent of that. I think he deserves the spot.
He can guard.
Yeah.
He puts his nose down and guards as hard as he possibly can. He's a bucket. Everyone knows, he's one of the best bucket getters on the team. He showed that last season. And I don't think it's going to be one of those cases where now that he's, shown what he can do and he's on scouting reports that he's going to be, easier to stop. I think he's just nice like that. And he's going to be able to continue to grow. I realize he's not as young as some people think he is, but
right.
Yeah, he's like 25, 26. He's one of the older guards on the team, one of the older players, honestly, in that young core, which is kind of crazy to think about. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't have room to grow. We saw how much he grew just in his time in Dallas. So I don't know. I think we should do whatever we can to keep him around and see at least what he can become as a part of this core.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. But looking at this schedule, the thing that really stands out to me too, within the first month, really, we only have 1 to 2 difficult road games. And Houston. I mean, I would say Houston's going to be a difficult game to win. And then Minnesota. I call Minnesota difficult. I'm sorry. I don't think Memphis is going to be a good basketball team this upcoming season. I really don't.
No. Trading Bane didn't make sense to me because
the value for the picks don't make sense. Like those Orlando first round picks are going to be there's no value.
No, because they're trying to get out of being a lottery team. So those picks, I mean, I don't know. It didn't make sense to me because you didn't improve your shooting at all. Like you got rid of your best shooter and you didn't replace that.
And they lost Bernard.
Yeah, so like I don't know what they got cooking up, but what I do know is that they did get better from a coaching standpoint because their coach was not that good. It was I can't pronounce his name, I forgot it, but they had an assistant coach that was like a coaching savant overseas in Europe who was just smart, and he really helped get their offense running in a way that was more comfortable for John Morant, for him to like be himself in a way that wasn't just I'm an explosive athlete, like actually play winning basketball. And when their head coach wanted to move away from that, that's when they had problems. And even Ja spoke on that. So I think from a coaching standpoint, they're going to be better coached. From a talent standpoint, I'm not really sure what to look at here because you got Zach Edey, you got, Jaren Jackson Jr., but who are they to Anthony Davis?
No, 100%.
Yeah. And I mean, they're one of those teams that, like, if you look at the way the NBA landscape is today, like all the teams that are really good are the deep ones and not the 2-star teams like you used to see back in the day. Like, they have 2 really good players, but they lost most of their depth. And, the Thunder, the best team in the league, they're incredibly deep. The NBA Finals last year, the Pacers were very deep too. I think the Mavs are going to be really good because they're so deep. Like all the really good teams have a lot of depth. And that's just the way the NBA is today. So I don't see, the angle they're going for. I mean, they have their 2 stars, but they're going to need more than that because those 2 stars aren't going to be able to carry them by themselves. They're not those kind of stars.
No.
So I have a question for you guys, and it's a little tricky to answer because we haven't seen Coop play in NBA Summer League he played, but we haven't seen him play an actual NBA game yet. So it's a little tricky to answer, but how do you feel about this Mavs roster if, AD misses 2 or 3 games, because I truly think that they're still capable of winning games. I'm not saying they're like an elite team or something like that, but I think if you go up against like a Memphis, or we're looking at like Portland on here, I still think, D'Lo has one of those games. Clay, I think people really slept on how good Clay was for Dallas last year.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that this team can perform well if AD sits out a game?
If he has to miss, let's say, 2 games back to back, depending on this schedule where those 2 games are, like if he misses the Memphis and New York game, the Minnesota and New York game back to back, kind of hard to see us get a dub there. But I think, and this might be my boldest prediction, maybe my hottest take, but I truly want to believe, I do believe, that this team went through enough adversity last year that they're not going to allow it to hurt them as much this year. So if AD has to miss time, I think everything that they learned by playing with wild lineups and skeleton crews, that they can make it work, that they know what they have to do if their best player is gone. When Kyrie and AD were out, they had to figure it out. And we did win games where we probably should have lost. Like, we figured it out. So if to start the season, let's say first 15 games, if AD has to miss any amount of time, I feel more confident with the current roster now than last year.
Yeah, I'm with you. And honestly, I'm kind of on the reverse point of what you said earlier. Like, if this Mavs team, I mean, they've been known to, like we said, that Jazz game last year, they can lose a few easy ones here and there. So if AD does go out and, he has to miss a game against the Cavs or something, that was going to be hard to win anyways.
Yeah.
It might not be the worst thing in the world if he comes back healthy, to play the Suns and take them out without, because, not let Book go off, and we can take care of business on a game like that. So as long as he doesn't miss too much time, they're going to be strong. But even once he does, I will be interested to see who steps up, because, like you said, the guys had a lot of chances last year to show what they can do without, Kyrie or AD out there. But also there's a lot of new pieces. Like I really want to see the type of player Coop's going to be. Like, is he going to be a guy who just really tries to fit in the system, or is he going to be the guy who says, look, I'm the number one pick. Everyone's saying I'm, one of the greatest generational prospects of all time. I'm going to go show what I can do. Because it's hard to get a gauge on the guy, because he won't really give you much in the interviews. He's very professional with everything he does. It's hard to tell if he's going to come out there and try to be that guy, or if he really just wants to win and fit into whatever system he can, because he's going to need to do a lot of things and a lot of different things at a lot of different times. So it's going to be interesting to see what he's willing to do and what he's capable of doing. But because we have him, I think we'll be all right no matter who misses time.
I really hope Cooper doesn't hear any Fire Nico chants next season.
He will. They're going to happen again.
It's going to happen. And honestly, I don't know. I honestly don't care. We got Cooper flag. They can yell whatever they want. As long as it doesn't affect the players, then whatever. They win. But it is interesting to think, if AD misses time, who steps up? And I want to believe that without AD, one of our best lineups will consist of Cooper, Najee, and PJ. Those three in a lineup. You fill in. You can put Najee at the 3. Najee at the 2, Cooper at 3, PJ at 4. You can have D'Lo at the 1, Gafford or Lively at the 5. I like that lineup. I think that's a pretty good lineup. I feel like that's very free flowing. You have players that are very selfless, like Najee, who can easily play make. That floater is literally money. And then you got Cooper Flag, who also is a system player who can still stand out. Back to what we said earlier about being deep. That's why this team is deep, is if AD misses time or if Clay misses time. Cool, we got people. It may not be to the same effect, but we're not going to be dead in the water either. We can still put up a fight.
Yeah, and I think I tweeted it out earlier today. I was asking people who they think will have the biggest leap year next year. I think the person who needs to have the biggest leap year is PJ. I think that's the most important. Right now, we need shot creation from him. I truly do think that's the biggest leap we need, especially with Kyrie being out. Look, you're going to get shot creation from D'Lo. You guys, it seems like you guys might disagree with me on this one, but
did you see PJ dribble last year?
Yeah.
It was rough.
It was rough sometimes.
That's why I'm saying. That's why I'm saying. You need that lead.
Where he almost got a triple double because he had 9 turnovers.
But that's why I'm saying it was something. If you I think it was Kevin Gray who tweeted it, and it was the off season last summer, and he was asking PJ. It was last summer, asking PJ what he was working on, and he said creating my own shots and working on my ball handling, and then. I love PJ to death. I'm a big fan of PJ, but we just didn't see those results. And so I think if the Mavs want to be successful while Kyrie's out, PJ needs to learn how to dribble the basketball efficiently. Again, I think Najee's going to have an even bigger leap from what he had last year. I truly believe his 3-point shot will come back, even if it's a 34-35%, I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with it. I really would be. Yeah. And I'm a Max Christie believer. So I think there's a lot of guys that are going to step up next season, especially with Kyrie being out. Again, they're going to have to get used to playing. This is why it sounds messed up, but like this is why I like with Kyrie being out is that guys are going to be able to have the ball in their hands more and create more shots so that once Kyrie does return and he's not on the floor, guys are used to being able to play without him. So I think there's pros and cons to it. A lot of more cons with Kyrie being hurt than pros, but that's one of the few things that's nice to think about. I do want to discuss this though, and I think it's like one of the few hardest parts of our schedule is this slot right here. Oops. The Mavs go on the road to Miami, LA, both LA teams, Denver, and then Miami at home, and then on the road to OKC, and then a back-to-back against Houston. That is a very, very difficult part of the schedule that I am, like I said, I don't like to dig into it too much, but we're recording an episode on it. That is a part of the schedule that I am worried about because you got a back-to-back against the LA teams, and then you go play Jokic. I mean, this is a lot of work for Anthony Davis in these games. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I mean, he's going up against, DeAndre Ayton, Zubats, Jokic, Bam, Hardenstein and Chet, and then Sengun and Steven Adams. So, I mean, that's tricky. And then you go, Philly, if Embiid's healthy, Detroit, Durant's a massive guy. So, I personally think about these games and I'm like, this is going to take a toll on AD's body. And it's going to be tricky. What do you guys think about this little 7-8 game skid?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, but it will come down to health.
Yeah.
AD will be tested in that run. Like you said, you're going up against Bam. You're going up against DeAndre Ayton. You're going up against Zubac, Jokic, Bam again, Chet and Hartenstein, Kevin Durant, as well as Sengun and Steven Adams and Clint Capella. The Houston Rockets are huge, right? So that week of basketball, that's like a 8-9 day stretch. It's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. As long as we're healthy for the majority of that, I truly don't know if we win the majority of those games. But if we can put up a fight, then we can put up a fight. I feel like we can beat Miami twice. Not too sure what Miami's got going on, but I feel like we can beat them twice.
You guys know I live in Florida, so I will be at that Heat game.
There you go. There you go. Good. But Denver is very good now. Clippers, I'll put respect on the Clippers. Man, let's talk about the Lakers real quick. And not just because of Luka. It's not because of Luka. Luka's great. We know he's awesome. We've seen him for the past 7 years. We know what he is. Who's coming off the bench for the Lakers?
Jackson Hayes. You didn't see the 3-point shooting video that just came out?
I also seen Ben Simmons shoot threes too. What am I supposed to be impressed with?
I hope Jackson Hayes is hurling out threes. Please, God, make that happen.
Please. Gafford's getting 20 rebounds.
What is their bench rotation?
You don't want
I'm not trying to be now, for those that don't know, I've never liked the Lakers. I grew up a Kobe Bryant fan, but I hated the Lakers. Never liked them. I love Kobe. Ooh. But to be completely honest, they have no depth. There's they still have Gabriel Vincent.
Gabe Vincent.
Connect.
They don't even like Dalton. They don't like them.
Jared Vanderbilt. Here's their bench rotation. Vincent, Connect, Vando, Kleber, Hayes.
You have to play the starters the entire.
At least they got Maxey. They got some power on the bench.
Stop it. Maxey's pinky toe is hanging on by a thread. Stop. Y'all remember that 30-game stretch he missed because of his pinky toe.
Yeah, but did you watch him for those 45 seconds in the playoffs last year for the Lakers? He was cooking right there. He was cooking.
Anyway.
I digress.
That's why I feel confident that we can beat the Lakers. But I also understand what Luka Doncic can do when you give him very little. He can do a lot. You still got LeBron. I'll respect all of what they got. I'm not worried about DeAndre Ayton because
I'm not worried either.
He's like Andre Drummond Part 2. Empty calorie stats. He'll put up 10 and 15 and still lose games, right? Whereas I'll gladly trust Gafford and Lively, who can put up maybe 8 and 10, but their defensive presence at the rim is literally top tier in the NBA. A lot of people look at Lively and Gafford and just look at the box score like, oh, well, they're not putting up, 15 and 10, so they're not the best centers. What they do around that rim is top tier, and I'll even go as far as saying it's elite in this NBA. We saw that they both have the top 2 of them are in the top 10 for blocks on 2K. I'm not saying 2K really means much, but it's a reflection, right? So as far as rim protection, yeah, good luck. We got the best rim protection in the NBA. And the Lakers have a questionably motivated DeAndre Ayton, questionably. And they got Maxey off bench. I don't know what to be excited about when I look at that Lakers team when the starters go to the bench. Bronny James going to light it up from 3?
Shaky.
Come on.
I mean, they still have maybe the best player in the league, so that's something to be a little
and that is something because we used to look like that. I'm not going to act like I forgot. We used to look like that.
True.
And we made magic happen in part thanks to how great Luka is. Always put respect on his name. I always will. But I like what our team has as far as depth and talent across the board. So I'll say we can get from the game that we play against Miami first to the Houston Rockets game, I can see 3 guaranteed wins. That's going to be a tough stretch of games. We'll beat Miami twice and the Lakers.
I like that. It's going to be tough, but I mean, it's kind of it's kind of warranted though. I mean, look how easy our schedule is at the start of the season. Like we knew this was going to happen at some point. And there's always a stretch every year where there's some real tough games in there. But it just really depends how hot we are at that point. Like if everyone's healthy and we've been kind of rolling a little bit, there's no reason we couldn't win 65-70% of those games. I mean, it's those teams are very good, but it all it's a momentum league. Like it all depends on how hot these guys are. And so I don't know. They're not going to win all those games, obviously, and this is not the team from 24. Don't get me wrong, but there was a stretch in that 24 season where these guys, they had that really tough stretch towards the end of the season when they were just rattling off win after win. And they won, I think it was basically all those games in that stretch. That was the Kyrie buzzer beater in Denver. That was one of those games. Like all those games, there was a lot of really, really good opponents and a lot of really good games. The Mavs pulled out basically all of them. So it's not impossible as long as you get them at the right time.
The nostalgia of the end of that regular season. I mean, the Denver game. I mean,
the Houston game.
The Houston game was, oh my gosh. That was like a midday game on a Sunday. I think I was like screaming. I think
what made that Rockets game great is because we all were saying how any given Sunday game we lose. Every single time we have a midday Sunday game, we lose.
All the matinees.
Magical.
Yeah.
Bro, those 2 games, I would say those 2 games, the PJ Gafford debut game against OKC.
Oh, that was incredible, bro.
And then
that season was great.
The other regular season game that sticks out to the most, that
those back-to-back Kings games.
The Dante dagger against the Kings.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
because we were still fighting for our playoff lives before that first Kings game, and the Kings were like, I think had the same record or maybe half game ahead of Sacramento. And then before those games, I remember thinking to myself, this will really show what kind of team we're about to be. And then the first game, we just destroyed them, blew them out by a crazy amount. And then that second game, the Kings came to play, and then Dante said, "Nah, I got y'all. Let me take care of business," and we pulled it out. That's when I knew that was going to be a serious run and a serious team. And then also, don't forget the Warriors game. The PJ had the game-winning layup as well. That was in that stretch at home.
Hit him with that. Ooh.
That's right. Yeah.
PJ game-winning layups give me PTSD from when the.
I don't stop right there. Stop right there.
Yeah. That was
Did you guys see my tweet? I was literally watching that game live, and I was like, when it happened, I fell into the grass. Face planted. I was in so much pain. That was probably the most. Is that like the only Mavs full court buzzer beater loss that's ever happened? I can only remember that.
There's probably a few, but that Max Street.
Full court for sure. Yeah, that was one of the top 5 longest buzzer beaters of all time. So
I think it was the longest. No,
the Devontae Graham was the only one longer.
That one.
But
I mean, the Mavs have had some on the other end too. If you remember Harrison Barnes from almost half court that one year when he banked that in against Memphis, that was a fun one.
What's your favorite all-time Mavs buzzer beater? There's 2 that stick out to me.
It's so tough. The favorite one that I was in attendance for was definitely Kyrie's left-handed one against Denver. I was at that game. That was super special.
That was such a calm flex right there that I was in attendance.
Oh yeah, I was at that game.
No big deal. But besides that, my favorite, I'll probably say it's tied between D-Will is against the Kings in the corner in double overtime. Just because D-Will's my favorite point guard of all time besides Luka. I love that guy. And then also, I love Dirks versus the Knicks over Melo, top of the key, bang. It's got to be one of those two. I don't know.
Mine is the Knicks one, and also, dude, the Vince Carter against the Spurs in the playoffs. That was huge. That was unreal. That was unreal.
I have to say mine. I mean, y'all just named so many, but we didn't win this game. But that Portland Trail Blazers corner dagger from my boy Luka.
That was fire.
From that moment forward, I knew we had young Jesus in our jerseys. Jesus for the blue.
I have a banger one, but it was for a tie. Do you guys remember the Darren Collison one-legged three to go to overtime?
OKC?
Yes. It was unreal.
Yeah.
In my grandparents' house, like yelling that game. It was unreal. It was like the most lucky shot I've ever seen. But
dude, I was in a movie theater when that happened, watching it on my phone like this, and I just screamed when it happened. I think they probably thought I was doing something dangerous in there, but yeah, that was got me real hype.
I was on a cruise at a comedy show when Luka hit the game winner against the Wolves. And I was just yelling in the comedy show, and the guy started trolling me for it, but it was worth it. That was legendary. The Mavs have some really good game winners and buzzer beaters.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, was it a game winner when full beard Dirk was playing against the Bulls? Was it a game winner? Right?
There was about a second left on the clock.
Yeah,
after that
was a special one.
Nate Robinson almost hit a game winner after that. I was terrified that shot was going to go in, but
yeah. But I wanted to talk about this little road game stretch that we have as well. So it's convenient because All-Star break, it's in this spot too, but the Mavs go at San Antonio, at Phoenix, at LA, All-Star break, Minnesota, Indiana, Brooklyn. Now, I get it's a 6-game road stretch. I think this is one of the road stretches that the Mavs could actually come out 4-2.
Yeah.
I think they play the Spurs. Obviously, it's division. They play the Spurs 4 times. So I want to say the Mavs probably go 3-1 against the Spurs. I know your boys with Spurs Muse. Hopefully he sees this, but
I won't show him this podcast. We can talk about it.
But I do think the Mavs will go 3-1 against the Spurs this year. And then Phoenix, I like what they're doing over there. I really do. Yes, I do.
Stop it. Stop that right now.
If they get rid of Jalen Green, that's a solid roster. They finally have two solid bigs. I think Dylan Brooks is a really good role player. I see the vision a little.
You know what they're lacking though, because talent wise, yes, I'm not going to argue that they do have talent. Veteran leadership is important. And I really do believe that's one of the things that Chris Paul provided to that Suns team when they made the finals was veteran leadership. And
he was also tough with Phoenix. He could.
Oh, of course. But it's the fact that, and this isn't really I'm not really trying to talk smack, but it's just at this point in his career, it has to be said that Devin Booker can't lead a team. He can't. No,
that's
hot.
It's not him.
You mean lead a team to the finals or just lead a team in general?
He can't lead a team in general. No, he's not the guy. No.
That's hot. That's really hot.
That could be my hot take until he proves me wrong.
That's right burning.
Until he proves me wrong, go right ahead. I'll just keep saying it. I don't think he can lead a team. No.
What you're saying he can't be a team's best player, is what you're saying.
You can be the team's best player and still not lead the team. Look at what Zach LaVine's been doing half his career.
Right, yeah.
You can be the best player.
I think I have to agree with that take, yeah. He's not a locker room leader type of guy he's not that voice of reason that you need like Chris Paul was,
He led the team to a finals a few years ago.
As their best player, not as their leader.
Yeah, no, Chris Paul was a leader. So for comparison, to put this into context for
Wait.
Hold on.
Who led the Mavericks to the finals?
That was Luka, all Luka.
Dwight Powell. Let's not get it twisted.
And also, that was a concern.
No.
Hold on. That was
I love Luka. I love Luka.
Well, let's hear it. What do you guys say?
I love Luka. You're telling me that Kyrie and Markieff Morris didn't have more of a voice than Luka in that locker room?
Oh, for sure. And I was just about to say that was more so a team effort. If we're talking about who was leading, definitely Kyrie was there leading the way. Luka, off of his raw talent, can fight hard enough to try to get to the finals. But obviously, Kyrie, you could throw in Morris as well, and Dwight Powell just helping, sure. But to compare the Phoenix Suns to another situation of where the best player was not the leader, the Toronto Raptors. A Raptors fan right here, I'll tell you, Kawhi Leonard was not the leader. That was Kyle Lowry. And Kyle Lowry was not the best player on that team.
Yeah. Greatest Raptor of all time, though.
Boom. He knows what's up. You can be the best player on your team and still not be that guy to lead your team as a leader. And again, we saw that Suns make the finals with Chris Paul. Chris Paul's no longer there. What happened? Okay, cool. You get Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. Still, nothing happened because neither of them are leaders. What has Bradley Beal ever done as a leader? Steal salary. What has Kevin Durant done as a leader? Get close. Get very, very, very close.
Outside of the Luka arguments Book has with him, I've always been a fan of Book, so it's
no, he is a good player, but again,
I think he can lead a team. I think
not all good players are leaders, and I said the prime example, Zach LaVine is a great player. How many playoffs wins does this man have?
I think Book and LaVine are on different levels.
He's not a Book type level guy.
No,
he's
still
good,
a good player. There's many players that are like that. I could go on. There's many others like that, but. All right, between Devin Booker and Jalen Brunson, who do you think can lead a team to a finals run?
Brunson.
Brunson's more of a leader for sure.
Thank you.
The guy took how much of a pay cut?
Come on. So, and the West is stacked. The Suns, and I'm pretty sure in all of our predictions of where the Mavs are going to be and how the West is going to look, none of us have the Suns top 8.
For sure. I mean, not this season, no. But I see the vision.
Yeah, their vision is when Devin Booker retires. They're preparing now for later. Now and later.
Is Book even 30?
Who knows? I think
he's 29.
He's the 5th highest paid player or something like that.
I don't know, man. I think they're 2 players away. I think if you get rid of Jalen Green,
they are several players away.
I really think Malowacz is going to be insanely good. I'm a big fan.
I'm a fan, but he's a rookie.
And I think Dylan Brooks
is a rookie.
I think Dylan Brooks is S tier role player. I really think Dylan Brooks is very good at basketball.
Yeah.
You take off his drama and everything.
You can't though.
Okay, but
it's always who he is. It affects his game though. I
do have to ask MavsMuse because I know what Marcel feels like. We're in the same area of where the Mavs, where we think the Mavs will finish the regular season at seeding wise. Where do you think the Mavs are going to finish? We Marcel and I have. I don't know if you've changed your thoughts on it, Marcel, but I mean I'm in that 5-6 area, but also could see a play-in spot. But I do think the 6th seed is realistic. What about you?
Yeah, I talked to Marcel a little bit about this on his stream the other day, but I'm realistic, but also I'm kind of in the same boat as you guys. However, a little more on the optimistic side. I can definitely see. I think 5-6 is by far the most realistic option for this team. Probably 6 if we're being quite honest. But where you guys say that you could easily see them being more of falling to the play-in spots, I could see them moving up to the 3-4. If things fall in the right direction. This team, like you said, might be the deepest team in the league outside of OKC. They've got so many players. That's why the injury situation doesn't worry me that much. Because the West is so incredibly good, and every team outside of maybe 2 is going to be vying for a playoff spot. That's why I don't see them. That's why I think 6 is the most likely, maybe 5. But if things fall in the right direction, like I said, they get hot at the right time, they get and stay healthy, then I don't think the play-in is really going to be a worry. I think, as long as they don't fall off early in the season and are clawing back the whole way to try to get out from the play-in and into that top 6, as long as they stay in that 4, 5, 6 range throughout the season, then Kyrie comes back, AD stays healthy, Flag continues to develop, D'Lo gets himself comfortable in the offense and finds himself a good bench role. Like if all those things flow together while they're still at that 6 range, they easily find their way up to 4, maybe even 3. So I'm with you guys, except on the other end, definitely more optimistic. I think this team actually has a chance to do something special this year.
Which leads me to my next question. Full honesty, no biased answer.
I'm being for real.
When do you think Kyrie returns?
Late January.
Yeah, January 25th. Is there a game on the 25th?
Yeah, there is.
So you guys are
that's like a specific special game too. Check it, January 25th.
Milwaukee?
No, 24th. He's coming back on the 24th. I guarantee it.
That would be crazy. I'm not going to lie.
I absolutely guarantee it.
Must see TV. But I just want to go back to that Devin Booker argument. Hold on. I want to rewind it real quick just for a second because I know I'm going to get slandered in the comment section. Back to Devin Booker not being able to lead his team to much success just because I wanted to check. The most wins he had in a season since being drafted to the Phoenix Suns, but before he had help from Chris Paul, the most wins he had – hold on, because Chris Paul was the leader. He was the leader. Because Chris Paul was the leader, right? So before Chris Paul got there, the most wins that Devin Booker could lead that team to was 39.
Hey, bro, I'm on your side on this argument, but you're talking about the Marquise Chris Suns teams here.
Yeah, bro, like that. Like
So when he had Kevin Durant and he also had Bradley Beal, 36 wins.
Like let's talk about Luka Doncic, like with no help his first year. Like they were like 33 and 49 or something.
The best seeding that Luka Doncic ever finished before Kyrie was a 4th seed finish once. And I do believe that's going to be better than 39 wins. So let's talk about being a leader.
I'm on your side, but you got to think that he had Dragon Bender and those guys.
For sure. So. And guess what? Many moons ago, our second best player was Tim Hardaway Jr. We were relying on Maxi Kleber and Dorian Finney-Smith, who I love. But let's be real, right? We had Boban as our center. I love Boban. I really do. But we made something out of nothing because of the leader that we had. Right? But it's crazy. You go from 34 wins without Chris Paul. The next season, you have 51 wins with Chris Paul and a finals appearance.
Later. He's got a point.
And then later, you get Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant with Devin Booker. Wow, you should have a lot of wins. Last season, you had 36.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Is that not a better roster?
Don't do that. No,
not
it's not.
Not the 21 Suns team. Not from the 21 Suns team. They were more deep and had a better, well-constructed team for sure.
Dude, if the Suns kept that team where it was CP3, Book, KD, and Aiden,
yes,
they could have done something.
Well, the problem is that DeAndre Ayton eventually he started hating being there. He hated being there. Remember when him and Monty got into it and Monty benched him and everyone asked, Monty, what happened? What happened? Now we know what happened.
Yeah.
You guys are definitely a little more optimistic about the Kyrie return than me, about how early.
Do you know something we don't or what?
No. I wish I did. I also think I don't think we get like a realistic, like actual. I mean, like, look, I saw like Nico said something at Summer League. We know Kyrie's worth. Oh my gosh, holy stutter! Work ethic is insane. We also know that he likes to take his times with injuries, rightfully so. I mean, 33-year-old guard. I personally think that it's rough, man. I think I could either see it happening like February 26th, because I do think his return would be a home game. I think that's usually how it goes. So I would like to think either February 26th. If I'm being optimistic, like I think the earliest we could get him back is that Boston game on the 3rd. I really just don't see him coming back in January.
The 26th would be interesting because that's against the same team that he got hurt against. So
that would be neat.
Yeah, but they don't have Jonas anymore.
Yeah. Dude, Nuggets scare me. They're good.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They're good.
Because one of the things that I truly think that this is a conversation that just gets swept under the rug every time is that Jokic is a cone. But he does so many other great things that people don't ever want to talk about his defense, but he is a cone. Jonas can be that center, so Jokic can do whatever else he wants to do. He could be a point guard, a shooting guard, a small forward. He could be out there with his horses as long as Jonas is playing center, right? So, yeah, no, Denver's really good. I think the reason why I think Kyrie could come back late January is just the fact that already, like, we're hearing – obviously, they want to be careful with how they report it, but from all I've heard, like, he's recovering well. He's been on a court already. So, and that's not to say that he's ready to come back now, but he's progressing, right? And so they're going to take their time. He's going to take his time because he knows his body better than anybody, and the organization isn't going to rush Kyrie back. They're going to listen to Kyrie, and Kyrie's going to listen to his body. But I truly do believe January, late January would be the earliest that we could see him because he got injured in March, 9 months later, January.
I think he scared everyone with like that thing he said on Twitch where he was like, "Don't get your hopes up if I'm not."
And that's just but that's just him keeping it real. Like, yeah, I may not, and if I don't be upset. And I got a question for you guys: is this really the year where we try to go as far as possible, or is this more of a where gauge the team and see where we're at kind of year?
Why not both? Why not shoot for the stars? I mean, this team when Kyrie gets back. Like I've been saying, like this is still one of the best teams the Mavs have ever had if fully healthy, in all honesty. Like, yeah, we don't have the best player we've ever had like we did for the past 6 years, but this team as a whole is one of the best, most deep, and also star-studded teams that have ever been in Dallas basketball. So, like, I mean, I definitely see, the lure of, let Kyrie come back from injury and grow and, just kind of get healthy also while letting Coop get into his own and have that sophomore leap. While all these other guys that are also incredibly young, like Lively, take that next step. Yep. And then all the other guys continue to grow as a team. Next year makes definitely the most sense. But if everyone stays healthy, they have all this time to grow together and play in their own roles and figure out exactly what they need to do before Kyrie gets back and then play as one of the best guards of all time once he does get back. I just don't see why they couldn't go all the way this year as well.
No, that's fine.
Oh, you don't seem to like it. Why not? What's wrong with it?
I mean, many people know I'm one of the most optimistic Mavericks fans out there. I will stay blindly optimistic because I love this team so much.
I think we all are. I
think I got a little bit more than you guys. Trust me. I'm a little crazy. But I'm more so, I think just from what I saw last year and just how we could not stay healthy, I think the following year, Cooper's second year, as long as everything goes right.
More realistic.
Fully healthy. I think that's when we can really become the boogeyman of the West. Now, we can show flashes this year, but I'm not going to be ignorant to what these other teams are doing. We're not the only team that improved. Other teams might have improved more. Now, are we still that underdog, that dark horse that can steal a series from somebody? Absolutely. We've proved it time and time again. Our seeding doesn't matter. Just get me to the playoffs, and I can do damage. But I'm also not going to act like the lack of production, the lack of creation, the lack of just what Kyrie brings is really hard to win without.
Yeah. I look at it and I say, I do think we're capable of making a playoff run this year, especially if Kyrie comes back at a reasonable time. But I think the year after that is where this whole team truly gets judged. I think the year after that is where Nico Harrison's job is like actually on the line. I know his contract will be up after that season, but I think, I do think that's the year where this sort of like proves if the trade was worth it or not. I really do think so, because I think that's when you get a whole healthy Kyrie and Cooper Flagg has become majorly experienced in the NBA. Also, I think next year, especially throughout the first half of the season, I think this is where the Mavs find out if they need to make a trade. we've gone back and forth, Marcel and I, about if PJ or Gaff needs to be traded, if the Mavs need to get more scoring. And I do think that's still the only hole left in this team is one very efficient scorer. I don't think you want to rely on Flag yet in those kind of sequences. I don't think you can consistently rely on D'Lo or Clay. And you look at the past championship teams, the Thunder, just had multiple guys that could get you buckets. The Celtics had multiple guys that could get you buckets. The Nuggets, etc. It goes on and on. So I think this is the year where, yes, they can make a playoff run, but this is the year where they can also figure out what holes they still have to make a legit finals run the year after. So I do think, what MavsMuse said, why not both?
Yeah.
But final question. What will the Dallas Mavericks record be this upcoming season?
44 wins.
The line's 39, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I'm thinking 44.
Yeah. I mean, in Florida on Hard Rock, I was taking a look at it today. I'm going to hammer it. It's 38.5, which is just laughable.
Will be worse.
I'm not a big gambling guy, but I'm going to be putting a significant amount of money on that.
I'd take the over.
I would take the over as well. What about you, MavsMuse?
Well, obviously I'm taking the over. That's not even a
for
question.
sure.
That's literally free money. But if I were to make a guess on how many wins, low-key, call me crazy, I think they might be closer to 50. Not 50, but like 47 range. They could easily be up there.
I like that.
My official prediction is 48. They're going to win 48 games.
I like that. I'm going 46 and 36. I think.
Dang, y'all got more faith than me. I said 44.
I thought you were the optimistic one, man.
Hey, man, last season did a number on me. It's hard for me to be too optimistic because after what we saw last year, I think one thing we all learned is that anything can happen.
Yeah, fair enough. But fellas, I appreciate y'all for joining. We chopped it up for a minute.
Yeah.
No, but it was awesome having you guys both on. Obviously, Unk, appreciate you coming on as always. And MavsMuse, man, I'm happy you were able to come onto the show finally. I know the schedule's hectic, but always would love you back on whenever. Guys, I appreciate you for joining. Shout out the pages. Give me your final words. Let people know where to find y'all.
You can find me on YouTube and Twitter at Mavericks Digest. Make sure y'all drink water. Stay healthy.
If you love Dwight Powell, go to x.com at MavsMuse. Hit me the follow button. That's all I care about. Dwight Powell stands only. Come through.
Y'all.
Everyone, I appreciate you all for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Stay tuned for more Mavs content. Peace.